Welcome to USA International Speedway. Welcome to the Mason-Dixon iRacing Series brought to you by Pulse Graphics and Nicky's Garden. We are here for their next round in the championship. We missed them a week because of a scheduling conflict, but last week they raced at Charlotte. And in that race in Charlotte, I was told that Harbin took the win in front of Staten and Vanderwege. And that brings us right away to the championship standings in the Mason-Dixon Racing Series. On your screen right now, Kyle Harbin and Carl Staten are dead even at the top of the points sheet there. And then 1 point behind him, it's Ian Martin. Then in fourth, it's James Badzer, and close to behind him is Kevin Spencer, Greg Wood, and Anthony Freeling, and then a little bit further back, it's William Alcala, Greg Wood Sr., and Austin Craig. So in the championship standings, this is still a wide open race for the championship for sure. All right, so tonight here we are at USA International Speedway, a track that unfortunately does not exist anymore in real life, but thanks to iRacing, they have been able to bring this track back in its original form, actually in both its original forms, because it used to be a dirt track, and iRacing has this track as a dirt track as well for those of you who enjoy slinging some mud. This one is the asphalt version, the final version of the track. It was closed down quite some years ago, unfortunately, but thanks to iRacing, we can bring these tracks back and enjoy some good old-fashioned grassroots racing around here. As you know, we are racing in the street stock cars in the Mason-Dixon series, and we're looking at the practice session ticking away right now. This is Kevin Spencer in the background there, and in front of him it is James Badzer in a brand new paint scheme, it looks like. Haven't seen that one before. So let's take a quick look here at the information. The track is 3/4 of a mile long. I'm not sure if that .61 that you see on the screen there is correct, because the other info I have tells me it's 3/4 of a mile. The ambient temperature currently is 68 degrees, so it's a fairly cool night. The relative humidity is 31 degrees, and it's partly cloudy. The wind is laying down a little bit. Earlier in practice, it was shown 5 to 6 miles an hour from the north, and currently it looks like the wind is 1 mile an hour, which is really no wind to speak of, and it's not going to harm him any. The track temperature is shown as 70 degrees, which makes for a fairly cool track, and that is good for the drivers. It gives them a little bit more grip. The groove will build up a little bit quicker that way, and it won't feel as slippery as a hot track does. So a cool track is a good thing. Then let's take a look at our race format tonight. We're going to do 2 laps of qualifying, individual qualifying. It'll start shortly here. And then we're going to do a heat race. Given the amount of drivers, I'm not sure if we're going to do 2 of them. I doubt it. We're going to do a 65-lap feature race. The drivers are using fixed setup, which means that they cannot change anything in the car except for the brake bias. There are no fast repairs or anything like that, so any damage that they collect is going to have to be dealt with either by driving the car as is or having the pit crew fix it, and obviously iRacing will calculate time for that. The pit lane speed limit is 35 miles an hour as we're moving into qualifying right now. We currently have 2, 4, 6, we have 8 drivers competing in this race so far. The entry will still be open during qualifying. And let's see if we can find anybody getting out there already. This is the number 5 car of Thomas Axum going out for his first qualifying attempt. And let's see what he can do here. He's got 2 laps. It's individual qualifying, as I said. That means the drivers cannot see each other. But fortunately for you, we can pick up anyone we want to look at. Only 5 minutes of time. That means that the entry for the race will end when qualifying ends in less than 5 minutes now. So Hopefully we'll get a couple more here. 8 drivers is not a whole lot, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see some good racing here. And it looks like Thomas Exum has posted his first lap time. He is the first one posting a time with 22.77. And right now it's Greg Wood posting a 23.05, Bill Watkins at 24.03. This is Bill Watkins, 337 car. I have not seen him before. He must be new. Not sure if he was with them last week in Charlotte. And let's see, Greg Wood has posted his second lap already. He did not succeed in pushing Exum from the pole. James Badzer now in the number 7 car is pushing himself up to the 3rd spot, and he is in front of Bill Watkins that we just saw in that 337 car. And Andrew Freeling is out on the track in the number 11 car as well, and he has not posted a time yet. Badzer posted a 23.7. And let's see if that was his first. And yeah, that was his second lap, actually. That was his quickest lap. And Freeling now posting a 23.98. That's his first timed lap. And Kevin Spencer in the 96 car is also out on the track currently. There he is. He's still on his out lap. Freeling, and let's see if he can improve on that lap time here. And yes, indeed, he takes about 0.2 of a second off of there, and he pushes himself in the 4th spot in front of Bill Watkins and right behind James Badzer. And let's see if Kevin how he is doing out here. This should be his first lap that he's putting in, and it is 23.3. Pushes himself into the 3rd spot on the timesheet here. And let me see, Kyle Harbin has come onto the track as well, and looks like Ian Martin is standing in the pit lane warming up his tires in a most unconventional way. Spencer has put in a second lap. That's a 22.9, and that's good enough for a front row position right now. So let's take a look at Kyle Harbin in the 34 car. He is on his out lap. And it looks like Ian Martin has gone to the track as well. It looks like Ian has a brand new paint scheme. No, I've seen that one before. That he had that in Dover. Kyle Martin on his out lap. Kyle Harbin has posted it for his first time. That's the 23.056 you see there. That's currently putting him in the 4th spot. And Ian Martin is out on track, but he has not posted a time yet. Let's take a look at Harbin's second time, and that is a little bit quicker, not by much. 23.01, and that is barely good enough for the 3rd spot. And Ian Martin's first time is a very good time, 22.83. Ooh, and he messes up his second lap there. The 22.83, that will stand, and that puts him on the 2nd spot in the timesheet here. Bringing it back into the pit lane here. His second lap, it will not be allowed because of him touching the wall. You have to run clean laps in qualifying. So just 10 seconds left in qualifying. We're going to go to the heat races really quickly here. And given the amount of drivers, I'm sure it's going to be one heat race before we get to our feature. And there we go. Let's see if we can bring up that grid for you. On the pole position, we have Kevin Spencer. Then alongside it's Kyle Harbin. On the 2nd row, it'll be Greg Wood and James Badzer. And then on the 3rd row, it'll be Andrew Freeling and Bill Watkins. And that tells me that the other drivers, which names you do not see here, are already locked in because of their qualifying times. So, we're going to do a 10-lap heat race here. Then we'll have a short warm-up, and then we'll go into the feature. Cars are already rolling here. The 96 of Spencer on the pole position with Kyle Harbin on the outside there. That's the number 23 of Greg Wood. Then we have James Badzer here in the number 7 car in a very American-looking new paint job. Bill Watkins in the 337 car. And then it's Andrew Freeling in the number 11 car, closing the ranks here. We're doing 2 warm-up laps on the short ovals like these. And it looks like Kyle is pretty eager to get going. Kevin Spencer here on the inside line, wiggling also a little bit. They do that to warm up their tires, get a little bit of heat in there. And the lights on the pace car are out now, and that tells me that we're getting ready to go. Coming off of turn 3 here. The pace car is in. They're waiting for the call. There we go. The call is out. Kevin Spencer and Kyle Harbin alongside each other towards turn 1. It looks like Kevin has got the bottom line covered, but Kyle Harbin is on the high side, keeping up with him really well here. And it looks like Kyle Harbin is inching that car ahead of Kevin Spencer, taking the lead and pulling a couple of car lengths, or no, maybe 1 car length. It looks like Kevin comes off the turn better than the 34, dives back to the inside, but he's not in there deep enough. He can't make anything happen just yet. Greg Wood is in 3rd. And then it's James Badzer in the 4th position, Andrew Freeling in 5th, and Bill Watkins is in 6th, and they're sticking together fairly well. And it looks like Kevin Spencer is hanging with that 34 car in front of him really well. Greg Wood is sticking with these leaders very strongly. It looks like he gets wheels underneath that yellow line. The banking is not very high, so it's not that much of a problem here as it sometimes is, but it can upset the handling of the car and turn that back end around. Here, Greg Wood comes to the inside of Spencer. It looks like they had a little bit of a touch. And into the next turn, he takes that position away from the 96 and picks up 2nd position. It's his turn now to chase after Kyle Harbin. Kyle Harbin is gone away. It's always true that when 2 people fight, the one that is not involved in the fight, the one running by himself, is quicker. And that's what Kyle Harbin is benefiting from right now, pulling away a little bit from Greg Wood and Kevin Spencer. We're on lap 5 of 10. Oh, they made it 10 laps. I was misinformed. No, I was correctly informed. Some other league I do, they have 8 laps. Sorry about that. And it looks like Spencer is having a little bit of trouble keeping up there. Let's see a check back here with James Badzer. He's running in 4th. Looks like he's fairly safe in 4th with Andrew Freeling behind him in 5th. And then Bill Watkins has dropped back about 9 seconds. Currently, it looks like he's struggling a little bit here in this heat race. Kyle Harbin still in front. Greg Wood in 2nd. Kevin Spencer in 3rd. The distances have grown quite a bit now. Looks like Kyle has this under control. Kevin Spencer has having trouble to stay with Greg Wood here. Lap 7 of 10. If we would get a yellow in this heat race, the yellow laps do not count. It's only green flag laps that count for the race. And that is not the case in the feature, obviously. Then the yellow laps will count. But right now, they don't have the problem of a yellow. They are running green flag laps non-stop here. Kyle Harbin in the lead with a 22.74 as a fastest lap. That's a pretty good lap. Greg Wood hanging on to 2nd position here. Kevin Spencer in 3rd. Let's check on James Badzer in 4th. He looks pretty safe and solid here. Andrew Freeling, and then it's Bill Watkins running a little bit further back here. He must have had a small issue or a little bit sideways at some point for being so far back, but that's how it goes. And it looks like we're on the final lap of this heat race right now. Kyle Harbin has taken the white flag. Greg Wood did post a very quick lap at 22.7, and that means he's inching closer a little bit on that final lap here. But it's probably not going to be enough for him to do anything really significant. It's Kyle Harbin picking up the heat win here in front of Greg Wood, Kevin Spencer, James Badzer, Andrew Freeling, and Bill Watkins is bringing it home in the final position. There is your heat race. Harbin, Wood, Spencer, Badzer, Freeling, and Watkins is the order in which they finished their heat race. We're going to go into a 5-minute warm-up now for the feature race. The feature race will be 65 laps. Yellow laps will count. And unfortunately, we only have 8 drivers in this race tonight. But I'm sure we're going to be able to entertain you and see some good racing. The less cars means probably less yellows. Guys are out on the track. That's Greg Wood here. And it looks like Andrew Freeling coming out of the pit here. Thomas Axum in the number 5 car. Ian Martin in the number 98 car. Ooh, he's going pretty sideways there and picks it up really well. So that's a good save. It looks easier than it is, folks. When you get sideways with a car like that, you see that it's very easy to get into the wall, and it looks like he was just trying to test and see the grip levels there. And that's what the warm-up is for. You don't want to do that during the race. But you could tell there by the movements of that car that it's not that easy to catch it once you get it sideways. It's very easy to overcorrect, and then all of a sudden those rear tires will get grip and then send you straight to the right into the wall. Looks like the 5 car is kind of doing the same thing here, maybe trying to see if there's any good lines up high. It always takes a little bit for the high side to get rubbered in, and with only 8 cars on the track, it's probably not going to get rubbered in very much at all. There we have Andrew Freeling in the number 11 car. Bill Watkins in the 337 is out there. And with the banking not being too high, you can see that some of the drivers may sometimes drop a couple of wheels underneath that yellow line. And that in itself is not a bad thing, but it's the transition coming back up that sometimes throws them off. And we've seen drivers get caught out by doing that and just lose the back end when they're coming back up. So they'll have to be a little bit careful with that. Greg Wood out now in the 23. Kyle Harbin in the 34. And looks like Kevin Spencer and James Badzer are in the pit somewhere. That is Thomas Axum. Ooh, and the 98 goes around. Let's take a look and see what happens here. That's a typical oversteer. Almost catches it, but then he's trying to make sure he doesn't run into that other car, and he spins it around. The good thing is, if you do that and you don't touch anything, then there's really not that much lost. It's a short track. There will undoubtedly be yellows to bring the field back together. But it looks to me like Ian Martin is just kind of checking out and see if he which lines he can make work for him the best. And that was not one of them. Andrew Freeling here in the 11 car. And we're in the final minute of the warm-up here. They'll be lining them up here in just a little bit. And obviously, in a simulation, the warm-up is not just about warming up tires, cars, engines, and all whatnot, but it's also it's mainly to get yourself right in the right mindset for the race and warm yourself up, get your adrenaline going, look for the grip on the track. We've had a 30-minute practice session and 5 minutes qualifying, and that is all the usage on the track. And so they have to find out where the best lines are, and it looks like right now it's the lower line that's going to be rubbered in, if any. It's a fairly green track. We take a quick look here at the weather, and it's cooling down a little bit. Actually, we've lost 1 degree already. The wind has picked up to 4 miles an hour, it looks like, and it's coming from the north. And the temperature is the track temperature is 70 degrees, and that is not very high. All right, let's bring up the grid for tonight's feature race here. It's Thomas Exum on the pole position. Then it's Ian Martin alongside him. It's Kyle Harbin and Greg Wood on the third row. I'm sorry, on the second row. Then it's Kevin Spencer and James Badzer on the third row. It's Andrew Freeling and Bill Watkins on the fourth row. And it looks like we have everybody lined up and ready to go. And that means we don't have to wait too long. It's Ian Martin, and it looks like Ian Martin chose the outside to start on. That is his choice, obviously. I apologize, it's Thomas Exum on the pole, and he's on the inside. I was just thrown off by the 98, taking a little bit of a jump there, eager to get going. It's Greg Wood into 23. Kyle Harbin is on the inside of row 2 into 34. Then it's James Badzer on the outside of the third row. It's Kevin Spencer on the inside. And let me double check that grid. Yeah, it's Exum on the pole. I apologize. And then it's Freeling in the 11 car in 7th. And the final car on the grid here is the 337 of Bill Watkins. And let's see if he can overcome his difficulty from the heat race and stay with these guys. Most of these guys run together pretty much every week, and we've seen Thomas Exum before in Dover. I'm not sure if he was in Charlotte, but we've seen him in Dover. And of course, Ian Martin is one of the regulars here, and so is Kyle Harbin, James Badzer, Kevin Spencer, and Freeling. Green, there we go. We are currently in the green. We have started this party, and it's Thomas Exum in the number 5 car that dives into turn 1 in front of Ian Martin. He picks up that second position. It's Kyle Harbin in third. Oh, and we have the 96 in trouble already. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, it's the 23 that's actually causing the trouble, it looks like. Let's see if we can judge that better from a wider angle. Yeah, it's the 23 that looks like he got a little bit of a touch from the 34, got off balance, and the 96 was just trying to avoid running into him and spun the car around. That's the first yellow of the day, lap number 2. And it looks like Kevin is rolling, and no problem on his car. It doesn't look like it, so he'll catch up to the back end of the field and start again. And it looks like I have to reload my scoring because it doesn't look like that's working correctly. And there you have your scoring back. I apologize for that short interruption, but every once in a while you gotta reload that stuff. Thomas Exum is leading the pack here. It's Ian Martin in second in the 98 car. Then it's the 34 of Kyle Harbin. Then we're looking at Andrew Freeling. And let's bring him up a little bit closer there. And then we have the 23 of Greg Wood. We saw him get a little sideways and save it there. and that's when Spencer had to avoid running into him. And it's Badzer in the number 7 car that is in 6th position. Bill Watkins is in 7th, and Kevin Spencer is right there back in the rear of this small pack, but I'm sure he's eager to prove that he doesn't belong there, and he'll fight his way back up. And let's check the lights on the pace car. They're still on, so they should be going off shortly. We're rolling towards turn 3. And we can ride along here with Ian Martin for a little bit. We'll see the lights on the pace car go out. I'm fairly sure that'll happen right now. Yes, that means we're going to get alongside the number 1 to number 5 car there of Thomas Axon, and we're going to line them up side by side to get back to racing. Kyle Harbin on the inside, the 11 on the outside there, the 23 on the inside, Badzer on the outside, Bill Watkins and Kevin Spencer should be going to the higher side there. Into turn 3. And the green flag should be flying. It'll be up to Thomas Axon to get the race back on its way. And he takes an early start, it looks like. And he pulls away about a car length from Ian Martin into turn 1. Ian Martin in the 2nd spot, closing in already in the corner. Then it's Kyle Harbin, Andrew Freeling, Greg Wood, Kevin Spencer already on the inside of James Badzer, so he's already picked up 2 positions in that first lap here. James Badzer, oh, and it looks like Bill gets it wrong. Bill Watkins, they did throw a caution because he was slow on the race line, or did we have another issue? Don't believe so. Nope. There was no other issue. So let's take a look at what happened exactly to Bill. He's in the rear there. He gets it sideways. We'll pull that up a little bit closer. He barely saves it. And it's good for him that they threw the caution, because if he would have just rolled on, he would have been way behind. He misses that pit wall there. Good save. Lucky for him, the yellow comes out so he can catch back up with the guys. And Greg Wood is shown in the 8th position. And I guess Greg Wood was behind when no, he was not behind when the yellow came out. That can't be. Not sure why that is. It looks like Kevin Spencer picked up quite a bit already. He's ahead of James Badzer, and so he picked up 3 positions on that restart. He'll be, well, is he going to be on the inside? Yeah, it looks like he's going to be on the inside in 5th spot. So he's doing good. He's picking it back up. And then, of course, the number 5 car, beautiful white car of Thomas Axon. We'll see how long he can keep it clean. And then it's Ian Martin in the 98 in 2nd, Kyle Harbin in 3rd, Andrew Freeling here in the 11 car, the 96 of Kevin Spencer, the 7 of James Badzer. Bill Watkins is shown in 7th, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe the 23 went through the pits. No, it doesn't show it. I don't know. Scoring sometimes has a mind of its own. And let's ride along here with James Badzer in the number 7 car. That's Kevin Spencer you see there in the 96. And in front of us, it's Andrew Freeling in that white car on the outside line. The lights on the pace car should be going out as we pass the flag stand here. Yes, indeed. And they're lining them up side by side. Pace speed is about 55 miles an hour. It's not very much. And let's go back outside here and check on the guys in front. Axum and Ian Martin. And we're going on into turn 3 and 4 now, getting ready to go. Thomas had a good early start here last time around, so let's see how he does it now. Once again, he's on the throttle pretty early, and he pulls a couple of car lengths on Ian Martin right away. Going into turn 1, he is in first position. It's Kyle Harbin staying with Martin a little bit better this time. And Kevin Spencer already passed Greg Wood for the 4th position. Greg Wood therefore now in 5th, Badzer in 6th, Bill Watkins is in 7th, and Andrew Freeling is in the 8th position. And that means he dropped back a little bit because it was Greg Wood back there. And Wood is already past Badzer and Watkins. That's James Badzer here in the number 7 car. Oh, Badzer's running wide, scraping that wall. Oh, that's unfortunate. He loses a spot to Bill Watkins there. Thomas Exum is still in the lead. It's Ian Martin right on his tail now, fighting for that first position together here. It looks like Ian Martin is a little bit quicker in lap times, but it's it's a very insignificant difference. It's like a blink of an eye. But he is hanging with the 5 very good. And it's Kyle Harbin in the 3rd spot. Having a little bit of a drift coming off the turn there, but he saves it beautifully. And he's having a front row seat for that battle of the lead here. And they're getting so close to that wall there. Ian Martin sticks that bumper right underneath that white car, even pushing him a little bit, it looks like. And now he comes to the inside. Is he close enough? No, not quite. Can he do anything here? Yeah, it looks like Ian Martin is eager to get in front. And he's not quite close enough. The 5 really covers that inside line nicely, and it looks like Martin comes off of that turn pretty good, but he can't quite bring it alongside. And the 5 is being careful there. He knew that the 98 was coming, and he gave him the room. That's very good racing. Ian Martin is now on the inside, and it looks like he's nosing ahead to take that lead away from Thomas Axum. Yes, indeed, he picks up the lead here starting lap 18. And it looks like Kyle is closing in on him as well. Always true, when 2 of them fight, then the solo driver will catch up on him. Battling for position is always going to cost you lap time. That's always true. Kyle Harbin has now set the fastest lap with a 22.7. He's caught up with the 2 leaders here, and he wants more. And a little bit further back, it's Greg Wood that has passed Kevin Spencer back again. He's now in 4th position. Spencer in 5th. Watkins is hanging on to 6th. Badzer is in 7th. He looks like he's recovered pretty good, and Freeling is a little bit further back. And let's go back up to the front here. Ian Martin is hanging on to that lead in front of Thomas Axum. And Kyle Harbin is in the 3rd spot, and he definitely wants a part of this. Very close together here. And they're all 3 of them are looking very solid. The 34 runs a little bit higher. Loses a couple of car lengths on the 5 right now. There you have him. He'll catch back up, and Axum is staying right there with that 98. And they're all 3 of them are looking very smooth and very solid, and they're not overdoing it, but they're letting each other know that they are not just going to give this away tonight. And Thomas Axum is dropped back maybe a car length or so. Can he close that gap once again, or is he currently just playing it safe? The 34 looks like he's catching back up slowly but surely. And let's check back here on the number 23, Greg Wood. He's still in fourth. Spencer still in fifth. Watkins, and looks like Badzer has caught up with Bill Watkins for that sixth spot. And Andrew Freeling is struggling a little bit. He is a little bit further back. He's in eighth position, but he's about 7 seconds behind these guys. And here it looks like Badzer's coming to the inside of Bill Watkins. And he's alongside, but he's not passed yet. And that's what he's doing here. He's getting in front, and it looks like he's got a little bit of a push, if you can tell from those wheels on the front wheels scraping a little bit. And it looks like Bill Watkins is doing all right on that higher side. Now he's running a little bit too high, and he leaves that position open for James Badzer. So Badzer picks up the sixth spot in front of Bill Watkins. Let's check back on your leaders here. Ian Martin and Thomas Axum still duking it out for the lead, and Kyle Harbin is still about 2 or 3 car lengths behind him. Martin is hanging on. It looks like he's in control fairly good, and Thomas Axum is not making his life too miserable right now. And that is not to say that he can't. It's just maybe, it's early in the race. We're on lap 26. We still have a long ways to go. And sometimes you just have to pick your battles at the right time and not pick your battles all the time, because you'll just wear out your tires completely and have nothing left at the end of the stint. They shouldn't be fueling if they don't have any yellows. They can use tires if they want. They can pick up tires if they want, but at 65 laps on this track, they will probably only pit if there is a yellow, because pitting under green on a track like this is going to set you back a lap and a half to 2 laps easy. Axum still hanging with the leader here. About a car length or 2 between them. It looks like Kyle is catching back up to the 5. And they're looking very good, very good. And Greg Wood is putting a little bit of distance on that 96 of Spencer. Wood still in 4th, Spencer still in 5th, and James Badzer is in 6th, and he's put a little bit of distance on Bill Watkins. And once again, Andrew Freeling seems to be struggling a little bit. I'm not sure if his car is damaged. It doesn't look like it, but he's 8 seconds behind Bill Watkins. And that's kind of surprising. It looks like he's got a little bit of sheet metal damage on the right. He may have scraped the wall, but that shouldn't hurt him that bad. The speeds on a track like this are really not high enough for aero to make any which way of a difference. It's all about tire management, and it's all about choosing your lines right and being smooth and taking care of your machinery. And these guys up front here, Ian Martin and Thomas Axum, are doing a very good job of that. And we're closing in on the halfway mark here. We're going to be going into lap 32. So when we're on the backstretch, we're exactly halfway. Kyle Harbin looks like he's hanging with him, but having a little trouble staying close. He's about 7/10 of a second behind now, so he's dropping back a little bit. And Greg Wood is about 4.5 seconds behind Harbin. There's quite a bit of a gap there. Spencer is about 1 second behind Wood. And then it's James Badzer. He's got about 3 seconds to make up before he gets to the 96. Bill Watkins is under 1 second, right around 1 second behind Badzer. And Freeling seems to be struggling. He's lost another second since we last checked on him. He's now almost 10 seconds behind. So if we can pull up the track map, we can see that the 11... Oh, I should have put the car numbers in there. The 11 is about to get lapped. As you can tell, he's on the main straight. And there in the background of your picture, you see the leaders coming up. And that's the gaps we have on track. All right, let's bring up Ian Martin and Thomas Axum. They're really close together now. It looks like Axum is putting on the pressure a little bit. He might see some advantage there in passing back markers, and that always It can make a difference. It depends very much on the back marker. It looks like Andrew Freeling is moving out of the way beautiful. He gives them all the room they need to race. And I think Kyle is already passing by there as well. No, not quite. Kyle Harbin is now going underneath the 11 of Freeling. Freeling staying extremely high, letting them know that, hey, I don't want to mess up anything. You can have the racetrack. And that is good sportsmanship. Martin still in front, Axum hanging with him. And he's just, I think he's just waiting for the right time to open up that attack. They're just managing their tires right now. Because, like I said, if there's no yellows, then they're going to have to make do with what they got. Taking a pit stop under green would be way too costly. Check back here on the 23 of Greg Wood. And it looks like Spencer is about a little under 2 seconds behind him. Badzer seems to be gaining a little bit. It was 3 seconds earlier. It's 2.6 now. And it looks like Bill Watkins is not able to keep up with Badzer. And we know that Andrew Freeling has been leapt by the leaders. So once again, Ian Martin in the front here. Thomas Axum sticking with him with that nose right at his bumper, ready to attack when his prey is going to let loose. And you might think it's easy for a guy like Ian Martin, but it's not, because you're constantly watching your mirrors. You cannot make any mistakes. You drift up too high, you know you're going to get in trouble, you know you're going to get passed. So it's actually, I've done some racing myself, and I've always thought that it's easier to be the chaser than it is to be the chased. The number 5 car, Thomas Axum, he can look in front. Everything he needs to know is in front of him. But the 98 needs to be looking at in front to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes turning in or whatnot. But he also has to keep an eye on his mirror closely and make sure that that 5 is not pulling any surprise moves on him. So Ian Martin is currently having the toughest job here, and he's doing it very good. Check on Kyle Harbin, a little over 2 seconds. Greg Wood, Kevin Spencer is hanging in there. James Batzer in 6th, and it doesn't look like he's gaining on Spencer anymore. Bill Watkins in 7th, Freeling in 8th. And there we see the white car. It looked like he was trying to get a little bit more aggressive. Maybe that was just the moment we got back to him. Ian Martin is doing a good job here defending that line. The 5 is not giving him too much of a hard time just yet. We're on lap 44. So the closer we get to that 65, the more you'll see the 5 turn up the pressure. And then it's going to be a matter of who was capable of saving up those tires the best, who took care of it the best. And that'll be the decisive factor for sure. And right now, the way they are sticking together is beneficial for the both of them. They're putting some distance on Kyle Harbin, and that means that they kind of decided, you know what, if we work together a little bit, we can put some distance on number 3, and then it'll just be between the two of us, and we won't have to worry about Harbin. And then in the final stages of the race, I'm sure it's going to be every man for himself. And they'll try to make life a lot harder for each other than they're doing right now. But like I said, it's the hardest on Ian Martin right now. Oh, there we have a move from the number 5, gets underneath, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Martin has to see that coming. He has to make sure he's not coming down when the 5 is already there. Of course, the spotter is going to help him out, calling that out. But still, it's very easy to make a mistake and not being aware of your surroundings. The 5 picks up the lead from Ian Martin now, and it looks like that final stage has arrived because Ian Martin is fighting back. He's not going to give this up without a fight. Oh, touches the 5 there just a little bit. It looks like Thomas Axum has the lead in hand solid now, but Ian Martin is staying with him, not giving up. Kyle Harbin is about 2.5 seconds behind. It's still Greg Wood in fourth, Kevin Spencer in fifth, James Badzer in sixth, Bill Watkins in seventh, and Freeling still hanging on to that eighth position. Thomas Axum is still in the lead. Ian Martin is hanging with him just like Axum did with him. And you can tell a little bit from the car sliding just a tad more than they did before, that they're really turning up that pressure a little bit. And the 98 is hanging with the 5, very good. I'm sure he still has something in reserve there. The 5 gets 2 lines on that yellow, 2 wheels on that yellow line there. And like I said, the banking's not very high, but it can throw you off and take you by surprise. Now the 98's doing the same thing, coming off the turn a little bit wider. They're both very close to that wall. There's not much between there. You wouldn't want to be a fly on that wall. Lap 51, we have 15 laps to go. And on a track like this, they're very short and very quick. 22 seconds a lap. Ian Martin is a little bit of space between him now. Can he close that back up? And it looked like Bill Watkins has gone to the pits for new rubber, and that's going to put him way behind. Like I said, under green, you're going to lose at least a lap here. So Bill Watkins decided it was time for new rubber, and that's the only driver so far that has taken a pit stop. It looks like Axum has turned up the heat a little bit and trying to pull away from Ian Martin, but Ian Martin is hanging with him, albeit with a little bit more gap in there. It's about a car length. Carl Harbin is now over 3 seconds ahead. He cannot keep the pace of those leaders. And Thomas Axum, and it looks like he's throwing that car around a little bit more aggressively now. Next time they come by the flag stand, it'll be 10 laps to go. Ian Martin coming down underneath that yellow line a little bit with the inside tires. They're looking pretty evenly matched. There you have it. It's lap 56, where you have exactly 10 laps to go. And Ian Martin is struggling a little bit to be able to keep that same line. He's putting 2 wheels on that yellow line, and like I said, you need to be careful. And it looks like he comes off the turn a little bit wider, and that could mean that he is just not on the gas as early as he would want to. Let's run along with him here for a little bit. Into turn 3. You can hear the tires scrubbing. And down the main straightaway, lap 58. I'm not so sure that it is going to be easy for him to close that gap, as little as it is, because Thomas Axum is running very, very strong. Keeping that car on the inside line very, very well. We have some back markers in front of him, and that would be James Badzer, and that might make a little bit of a difference. We saw earlier Andrew Freeling going very high to make sure to stay out of their way. So let's see how Badzer will be doing that. Looks like they're closing in now. There you have Badzer, and that's the leaders coming up behind him right there on the inside. It looks like Badzer is staying high. The leader is coming close to him now, and he's leaving them the room to race here. Very good. James Badzer lets the leaders go by, but it does make for the 98. Ooh, the 98 just runs out of room a little bit and touches him. Let's bring that back for you real quick. Ian Martin coming off that turn barely touches the number 7. That is absolutely neither one's fault. I mean, they're just racing. Badzer doesn't want to give up too much speed either. He's running his own race, and the 98 just runs out of room to get that get on the throttle there. He saves the car, and he's still in pursuit of Thomas Axum in that first position. Well, let's bring him back up live. He closed that gap a little bit already, and right now it's only it looks like it's only Kyle Harbin that's still on the lead lap with him. The car you see there, that was Badzer. And let's take a look at Spencer here. And if we look at the car numbers on the track, the leaders are right behind the 5 car. I'm sorry, the 5 car is the leader, so they're not close behind. They're not that close behind him. That means that Spencer is still on the lead lap, as is Harbin and Wood. Kyle Harbin is about 4 seconds behind now in 3rd position. Axum in the lead by 0.3 of a second. That little incident there with coming off of that turn while they were lapping James Badzer did cost Ian Martin a little bit, and you can tell that Martin is running a little bit more aggressive now, trying to close that gap to Thomas Axum. Saw him sliding around a little bit, coming off the turn. He wants to get on the gas as quickly as possible. Oh, he's doing a good job now. He's smoother now than he was before, and it looks like Axum is going to that inside. And there you have it. We actually missed the finish, trying to see if he was closing in. But Thomas Axum has brought it home in the 1st position. Ian Martin is 2nd. Kyle Harbin brings it home in 3rd. Greg Wood is in 4th. Kevin Spencer in 5th. James Badzer is in 6th. Andrew Freeling is in 7th. And Bill Watkins is in the pit, and it looks like he brought it home in 8th position. Let's see if we can see some donuts here from our winner, Thomas Axum. Oh, he's going back into the pit lane, bringing it back the wrong way around. No donuts for Thomas Axum. So let's bring up your results here for tonight's race. Oh, there he goes. That's what I was waiting for. Let's see him burn some rubber. There you go. It's probably going to go better if you do it the left side around, but what do I know? Thomas Axum, your winner, folks. There you have the feature results. Thomas Axum in 1st position, 0.4 of a second ahead of Ian Martin, almost half a second there. Kyle Harbin brings it home into 3rd position, 4.7 seconds behind. Then it's Greg Wood in 4th position, 15 seconds behind. Kevin Spencer also still on the lead lap, 17 seconds behind the leader. Then it's James Badzer in the 6th position with 1 lap down on the leader. Andrew Freeling brings it home in 7th, and Bill Watkins brings it home in 8th, 3 laps down from the leader. So all in all, after 65 laps, he did a pretty good job bringing it home there. He had a little issue with his tires, so there you have at least 1 lap of those 3 is because of his green flag pit stop. And it looks like Mr. Axum has burned some rubber there, and that'll conclude our race here tonight at USA International Speedway. Unfortunately, a small field, but we saw some good fighting for the lead there between Thomas Axum and Ian Martin. And Kyle Harbin tried to mix in there earlier in the race and then couldn't really keep up in the second half of the race. Dropped back a little by little to about 4 seconds, 5 seconds at the finish. Thomas Axum and Ian Martin fought hard over that lead. Ian Martin lost touch with the leader a little bit when they were lapping James Badzer. And once again, I'm not blaming anybody for that. That's just how it goes. We're all on this racetrack together, and you're going to have to find your way around the lap traffic. That's your own thing to do. I mean, you can't blame the lapped car. You can't expect the lapped car to totally give up whatever he is doing. He's running his own race. So I don't blame James Badzer for that at all. It's just one of those things that happens on a short track like this. So there you have it. Once again, Thomas Axum, Ian Martin, Kyle Harbin, your top three finishers in the Mason Dixon Racing Series here at USA International Speedway. Brought to you by Pulse Graphics and Nicky's Garden. We appreciate their sponsorship for this series, and we hope to see you next time. And I am not sure where we're going. But it'll be the same time next week on Saturday night. There'll be another race in this series, and we hope to see you then. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.